Don't you know a watch pot don't boil?
Yeah. Don't want to start early. 6 o'clock, call the Saginaw Council meeting to order. Have a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Pastor Joe is not with us, so Councilmember Sinclair will do the invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for today. We thank you for your many blessings that you've poured out on us. I pray that you would watch over us and be with us, cause us to make wise decisions in keeping with your will. Lord, I pray for our first responders, that you would guide them and protect them as well. Pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Audience participation. Anyone wishing to speak during the discussions on any listed item on the agenda, there's forms by the police chief there. Fill it out, give it to Vicki, our city secretary, and she will pass that on to me. Next consent agenda, items 2A, action regarding the minutes from July 15th. 2B, action regarding minutes from July 19th. Action regarding appointment of Crime Control and Prevention District CCPD Board of Directors. Item 2D, action regarding a big application for Fuel City. And 2E, action regarding ordinance 2025-11, the alcohol ordinance. We're going to pull 2E for discussion. Any questions? Take a motion.
Mayor, or Pro Tem, I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion by Valerie, second by Mary. Motion passes. Item 2E, Chief Ragsdale got a response today from some questions that he had. Do you want to touch on those, or do you want to?
Sure. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. So the permit as it's written, or the ordinance as it's written, has a couple of concerns for us in the PD. We're not against it by any means, but there's no provision for denial of a permit in this. If, say, Company A decides to do a special event with alcohol sales this year, the next year they ask to do the same thing, but they had 8 violations, we may not want them to perform another event. So there needs to be a process for denial. The other thing had to do with existing ordinance. It deals with possession of alcohol in the park. If we allow the package sales of alcohol at one of these events, then they leave that permitted area, which would be a portion of the park, and enter a different part of the park. There could substantially be a violation of existing ordinance in that unpermitted area. So try to address that through the ordinance. The only other thing we had was number of officers. This ordinance requires 1 officer for the first 100 attendees, and then another officer for 1 to 500 more attendees. And in past ordinance or past requirements for special events here in the city, we've required 1 officer per 100 attendees. And so when I passed it on to the attorney, they recommended, they say that it should be the same or similar, should mirror each other. And so those were our concerns that we wanted to have addressed. And so I'll take any questions you might have.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I think with these, I would like to table it
Okay.
and give the city enough time to evaluate these suggestions that the fire chief gave and make corrective actions.
Okay. Make a motion?
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we table 2E until issues raised by the police chief, Ragsdale, is addressed.
I'll second.
Second by Valerie. Motion passes. Proclamations and presentations. Gabe Ram.
Yep, Fire Department has special recognition this evening. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. We have one of our long tenured staff members retiring this month, Malcolm Mitchell, and I'm going to ask him to come up here and stand with us. Firefighter Malcolm Mitchell's last day employed as a Saginaw firefighter will be next Wednesday. While Malcolm will no longer be considered an employee and no longer dedicate a third of the year, every year spent at the fire station, he will always be a Saginaw firefighter. Malcolm has served what will be just short of 24 years, a few days short of 24 years. Let's think about that for a moment. Every assigned shift day for 24 years, Malcolm, with the support of his family, has arrived at the fire station ready to do whatever may be necessary in the performance of those duties, with the risk of possibly never returning home. This is something that every firefighter and police officer accepts every time they report for duty. That's no small feat and worthy of being acknowledged in regularity. Let's look at it another way. 24 years of the customary 40-hour work week is 49,920 total hours, nearly 50,000 hours. 24 years of a firefighter work schedule is 69,888 total hours, 70,000 total hours. That's 40% more time spent at work away from your family. The equivalency at 40 hours a week is 9.5 additional years of work on a 24-hour shift firefighter, almost 34 years. That includes countless holidays, birthdays, kid and family events missed being at work. That is what Malcolm has given to his profession and our city, making it worthy of acknowledgement, and we're giving that this evening. None of this is possible without the understanding and support of Malcolm's wife, Jennifer, his son, Dylan, and his daughter, Caitlin. A long and successful career in public safety is not achievable without family support. Thank you to Jennifer and Dylan. Caitlin couldn't be here tonight, but thank you for sharing your husband and father with us for 24 years. Malcolm's contribution to our department has been more than showing up and doing a great job. His contagious, always positive attitude, his character of always doing the best job possible, no matter the task, and when no one's watching, is commendable beyond what I can effectively express. The fact Malcolm has maintained that from day one, way back in 2001, all the way through his fire service career is simply incredible. I know this firsthand because I've had the pleasure of working with Malcolm on shift for a long period. For those that may not know, the bronze statue in front of the fire station is a likeness of Malcolm. He was the model and honored in that way because of the effect he's had on our department through his attitude, actions, performance, and dedication. Tremendous effect, not as the fire chief, not as the assistant fire chief, not as a company officer, but as a firefighter, the one riding in the rear of the truck and getting it done every shift. Tonight is the first part of recognizing Malcolm's great career in the fire service. The second part will be on his last shift day next week, where we will intertwine his family and relatives with his fire department family. In just a moment, I'll have Mayor Pro Tem Faligi present Malcolm with a proclamation for his 24 years of dedicated service and invite any city council comments. But before you do that, I want to invite Jennifer and Dylan to come up here and stand with us, if you would. Again, his daughter couldn't make it this evening. I believe she's out of town. But we think we have a special item that we want to present to you. It's an identical picture that's hanging in the admin lobby of the admin portion of the fire station, where it will always be prominently displayed. Mayor Pro Tem, if you wouldn't mind with the proclamation.
Yes. Proclamation honoring Malcolm Mitchell for dedicated service to the city of Saginaw. Whereas Malcolm Mitchell has faithfully and honorably served the city of Saginaw for 24 years as a firefighter paramedic and has demonstrated unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of citizens of Saginaw and the surrounding community, Malcolm has been a valuable member of the department, exemplifying dedication, courage, professionalism throughout his tenure, and has served as a member of the department honor guard, fire prevention clown troop, a contributor to the Kids Fire Camp, and a mentor to many past and present members within the department. The city of Saginaw and its citizens are indebted to Malcolm for his sacrifices and selflessness in the line of duty, and upon his retirement, Malcolm will be missed by his fire department family and other city staff and the community at large. Now therefore, I, Paul Falegi, Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Saginaw, on behalf of the city of Saginaw, its citizens, and surrounding community, do hereby proclaim our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Malcolm Mitchell for 24 years of exemplary service and dedication. May your outstanding contributions never be forgotten. Be it so proclaimed this 5th day of August, 2025.
Thank you, sir. I want to give the council a chance to say anything, and I certainly want to give Malcolm a chance if he would like to say anything, and then I've got a couple more comments after that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Malcolm, would you like to say anything?
I'll make it brief.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, city staff. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve this city for the last 24 years. I was just commenting on my wife, how it was literally 24 years ago, almost today, that I was taking the written exam and the physical agility exam for this city. I'm the last of 9 firefighters that opened Station Number 2 on 801 Basswood Boulevard. And now I want to leave it to the guys, my guys, and let them take care of it from now on. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve this city with dignity and pride.
Real quick note, and we'll get some photos and then we'll be done, but Malcolm is remaining in emergency services and will continue serving others in his new role as a paramedic in the ER at a local hospital. Malcolm will miss you and wish you the greatest success in your new career path, and the station will always remain open and be inviting to you. Now, we'll get some photos and we'll get our other shift guys in here and take some pictures if we could. Thanks for indulging us.
Any others, Gabe? Okay. Next, Ellen Ritchie. I'd like to recognize the library volunteers.
Absolutely. So every summer, Angela, who's not here, she's on a well-deserved vacation right now at the end of the summer, puts together a program of teen volunteers. They help us run our summer reading club for the kids. It also gives them good experience that they can take into their school year and, just a chance to serve the community. So it's been a great program. It's been running forever. This year we had about 32, I believe, different teams that came and volunteered for us. I wish I had the number of hours. I forgot to get it from Angela before she left, but it was many hundreds. I don't know. Some of them volunteer for just a few hours during the summer. Some of them are there all the time. But I have their names, and we have a few of them here. So if y'all are here, come on up. And I have some certificates for you. So just real quick. Oh, yes, I love your shirt. Good stuff. Okay, we had Avery Ackerman, Maverick Bowen, Camille Brown, Alexis Butler, Adam Della Fuente, Caroline Drees, Bravery Eager, Braylon Eager, Brenham Fleetwood, Aaron Freeman, Idania Gallardo, Lucas Grams, Claire Haney, Edith Hernandez, Elena Hernandez, Rebecca Kenyi, Abika Maharjan, Gabrielle Mewa, Jessica Monasterio, Emma Nelson, Peyton Nelson, Soren Norlam, Daniel Jacob Oko, Divine Grace Oko, Kendall Owens, Emily Putman, River Reed, Lauren Schaefer, William Stevens, Anna Vasquez, Jonah Yates, Madeline Zuby, and Liam Meredith. And we thank you all for your help. We could not do this program without you. Okay, let me find your certificates here. Let's see. Good job, y'all. Come up here and we'll take a picture.
Next, we have item 3C, Destination Marketing Organization Workshop. We have, Pedro can introduce, but we have members from the director from the Chamber of Commerce with us today.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Council. A couple months ago, the Chamber of Commerce, when we joined the North Tarrant Chamber of Commerce, approached us about potentially doing a DMO, a Destination Marketing Organization, and they're here today to do that workshop. Currently, that is budgeted as a one-time for the next fiscal year. And with that, I will hand it over to Jack and his team from the Chamber to give us our presentation.
Thank you, Pedro. I wanted to introduce Audra Collins. She is our director of the DMO, and I'm Jack Bradshaw, president and CEO of the North Tarrant Chamber. And thank you so much for having us here today. We appreciate it. So we're going to talk a little bit about what the DMO is and how we plan to brand it and how we think we can bring lots of people from outside Tarrant County into this area to really improve tourism dollars, and that makes a huge difference in your community. So, Audra, why don't you start us out?
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. First, I want to start off by saying thank you for your interest, thank you for attending some of our events, and thank you for having us here today. So we'll start off with what is a DMO. So a DMO is a destination management organization. We are dedicated to promote, manage, and develop tourism within a specific area and enhance visitor experiences to support local economies and ensure sustainable tourism practices. We manage the destination, create events, sit alongside of economic development. We're stewards of your area. We help with film commission, placemaking, welcomes, conferences. To give you an example, I know that the college down the street has firefighter training, and it's important, since they are so close to you, that we make sure that they have a great place to stay here in Saginaw, and they visit your businesses, right? Go ahead.
And as we look around, really, the North Texas area, there's an amazing amount of DMOs already that we compete with in North Tarrant County for visitors. We visit Fort Worth, discover Coppell, visit Arlington, visit Rowlett, visit Addison, visit Irving, visit Dallas, visit Frisco, visit McKinney, visit Garland, visit Mesquite, visit Plano, visit Mansfield, visit Grapevine, visit Farmers Branch, and visit Louisville. All of them are competing for those tourism dollars, and they all have a kind of a different slant or a brand, if you will. What we think in North Tarrant County is we think we are the hottest family-friendly area in all of North Texas. So I have a family of 5, and so we were always looking, and as the kids grew, I mean, we stayed in hotels, but as they grew, we had a girl and we had 2 boys, so we were always looking for short-term rentals wherever we went, and it really worked out great for us. But we didn't want to spend an arm and a leg either. Sometimes we might want to go out for breakfast, sometimes not. So we think all along the 820 corridor, there is great opportunity to bring people to here. And if you really look at North Tarrant County, it's centrally located to the huge attractions. I mean, to the northwest is the racetrack, right? To the southwest, we've got the Stockyards, we've got downtown Fort Worth. To the southeast, Rangers, Cowboys, Six Flags, and then to the northeast is the Grapevine, the Christmas capital of Texas, and not too far away is Dallas and all that they have to offer. But a family can really base themselves out of North Tarrant County and get everything that they want. And then there's all the secondary places that they can, great golf, the water park. We just got Peppa Pig, Malibu Jacks, wonderful restaurants here in Saginaw that people will want to try. And so it's all about what all these DMOs are doing. You see that they're most often visit, but sometimes discover. So they're just trying to get people to their areas to really base their visits and increase their tourism. So this is who we're indirectly competing with. Now we want to directly compete with them to bring those families. And if you look at the families throughout Texas, those rural families, they're looking for something to do. They want to come in town for 5 days, and they're going to catch a NASCAR event, or they're going to go to a Ranger game, or they're just going to go to Six Flags, or maybe they're going to visit Peppa Pig, but they need something to do those other 3-4 days, and they're going to eat out some, and they're going to spend their money. They're going to do some shopping. We're getting a wonderful H Mart right there on 820. So all of that, we just think rising tide floats all boats, and we have a great opportunity to bring a lot of people into North Tarrant County. Okay, next slide. So just a little bit about what Visit North Tarrant can do, and that would be the name of it. It's going to drive economic growth through tourism. It's going to attract more investment. If you think about the things that you're trying to attract to your area, that ability to say we're a part of this North Tarrant DMO is also going to be attractive to the businesses that you're trying to get. We're going to leverage data and strategy to drive growth. And so if you do that on your own versus having that across shared expenses, it's going to be a lot less expensive. We're going to build a strong, cohesive brand. Like I said, it's all going to be about branding this as the family-friendly center of North Texas. And then the DMO funding, North Tarrant County is one of the hottest areas in the United States. We think you can really accelerate further growth by attracting more tourism, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it, and we're going to explain that, but really the hot tax, a TPID, or taking a look at all the businesses that you have are the ways that you can do it.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, so tourism spending in Texas. Last year, tourism spend in Texas was $94 billion. That's how much money is pumped into our state from people coming inside. 9 million visitors alone in the Stockyards. You guys are really close to the Stockyards. If we take 0.5% of those people coming to the Stockyards, that's 45,000 visitors. Average visitor spend is about $1,400 to $3,000 depending on where you're coming from. So if you take 45,000 people spending half of their money here in Saginaw, that's $33,750,000 that can be pumped into your economy. And assumptive increase in local tax receipts based on tourism spent is about 5%, so that's $1.6 million to your bottom line. So that can be very impactful if we get this right.
So on that, I know that there's some data that shows, like say people's coming to the stockyards. For every mile you move away from the stockyards, it proportionally drops down in how far people's willing to drive. So do you have any data on that, what that would be?
I don't have that data, but we can get it.
Okay. Because I mean, realistically, I see your numbers. We're not going to get that in Saginaw. So it'd be interesting if I could get what we statistically really think Saginaw could pull in.
Yeah, your 8 minutes, I think it just depends on marketing strategy and where you want to pull those people from that you could probably get there. It depends on how you market your area completely. So,
And have you been down there on a weekend night? You can't find a parking place, right?
Right.
What's the big hotel down there now? $750 a night, I think.
The Drover.
The Drover, on a weeknight, right? And so, I'm telling you, as a family person, I'm looking for
Oh,
something
absolutely.
around that perimeter, right?
Yeah.
And a friend of mine does have one of the short-term rentals here in Saginaw, and it was so nice, one of the artists from Billy Bob stayed there, and it's now become the place that they recommend that their artists, when they come to Billy Bob, stay here, because what is it, 7, 8 minutes, right over
Yeah.
there.
So like say, pulling from the stockyards, how far, pulling from the racetrack, you know, like I said, I know there's data out there showing that for every mile or how many minutes you are away from it, it proportionally drops down. And then how should we advertise ourselves to pull that tax dollar in?
yeah, that's a great question. I think we want to advertise ourselves as the more economical side of all of our tourism areas to draw people in. Tourism is down across the country these past 6 months, right? But people are looking for more economical ways to travel. They still want to travel, the sentiment is there, but they want to find less expensive places where they can do many things and be in the middle and go several places. That's what we found. Oh, God, to do it twice. Okay, year one, action plan and development. So in year one, we plan on developing the advisory board. That's probably day 2, right? Make sure that that advisory board is on brand with the name, develop the policies and procedures, set up the organization, bank account, et cetera, all those things that you have to do. Develop, design, launch the website, CRM integration, economic development and council workshops with the THLA, the Texas Hotel Lodging and Association, help cities develop hot tax policies. These are all things that we would do. I won't have to read them all to you, but these are all things that we plan on doing in year one to get this thing going. And if you look at the next page, this is the makeup of the advisory board. So Jack and I will sit on the advisory board, and each city that buys into this DMO will have a representative. We plan on having a restaurateur, a person that owns a hotel, 2 attractions, people that own attractions, and a citizen at large. We want to make sure that we have citizens' input as well, so we think that's really important. Jack?
So why the chamber? And you guys know our location is right there on 820, what I like to call the corridor of prosperity. We're right there at 377 and 820. And there's a lot of, to start this DMO, there's a lot of elements. There's a lot of expenses. So we've had this idea for a while, but really in the last couple of years, as we've seen the communities around 820 develop, we really feel like right now is a great time. And of course, FIFA and a bunch of other events are just right around the corner. We want to be able to capture as much of that tourism revenue as possible. But if you look at the categories of the expenses and the budget, if you were not to incubate it through the chamber, it would have a startup cost of about $533,000. But the ability, since we've already got the structure, we've already got infrastructure in place, we are already doing a membership organization that when we look at the budget and by going through the chamber, and incubating it there with the purpose of eventually having the DMO be independent. That expense is $266,000, so basically it's 50% savings by incubating it through the chamber. So that's why we think, hey, this is a good idea, the timing is right, let's get everybody on board, and we're going to do some really great things with it. Any questions about that? Okay, all right.
So some of you might have been interested in how we got to the numbers that we're getting to. We went to our partner cities of the chamber first to give them first dibs, so to speak. And we did a calculation based on residents, businesses, restaurants, hotels, short-term rentals, et cetera. And Saginaw has 13.83% of that. So we are asking for 13.83% of the budget from you all, which is $35,250. Okay, your turn.
All right, so from a DMO standpoint, what is the value to the business? If you look at what we're going to do, independent businesses can join the DMO for a price of $395 for a basic membership. There's an enhanced membership, that would be $750, or a partner membership for somebody big like Texas Motor Speedway or somebody like that who's very interested in it at $2,500. And the listing would include, a profile, pictures, menu, coupons. When somebody searches for a certain type of a Mexican restaurant or a barbecue restaurant, that restaurant's going to come up and be listed in that. By having your city participating, then every one of the tourism businesses in your city is automatically a part of this at no cost to them. So if you look at if you look at that, let's go on to the next one. The value to your city, we know that there are at least 80 restaurants in the city, and you guys might know these numbers better than I. There's a number of short-term rentals, hotels, and then as you think about all the other categories, just the hotel restaurants alone at $395 is a $31,600 value. But if you look at the bottom, if we think there's about 200 businesses that are going to be automatically included in there with profiles and everything else, that's a $79,000 value. So if one of the restaurants or one of the businesses, attractions or short-term rentals, if they want to do something, if they want to, going back, if they want to have it be an enhanced member or a partner member, they'll be able to do that. But once again, it's at a discount. If they want to be a partner company, independently, that would be $2,500, but because of your city participation, that would be $1,000 for them. Same thing with the second level, the enhanced, it would be $750 to somebody independent, but $395 to one of your businesses, because already you guys, as a city, are one of our city partners. So there's a lot of value there. You guys were able to go to your businesses and say, hey, we're participating in this DMO. You guys are automatically a part of it. There's no cost to you guys for the basic membership and discounts if you want to do more with it. Any questions on that? Okay.
Any other questions? That's all we had.
That is a basic overview right there. We're really, really excited. We've been very excited. This Friday, we've got a ribbon cutting at Andy's Custard, so hopefully you guys all know about that. Come on out. It's going to be free custard for everybody. We've got another one next week. We're very excited about everything happening in Saginaw. We think that this really just ramps up everything that we're doing. And you guys, all the time, we want our residents to come out and spend money in the city and be part of what's happening, but what's really great is an enhancement to that is people coming from outside your city, outside Tarrant County, from all over the state to stay here and spend money here and really help your communities be stronger and grow.
I will get you that data. I wrote it down.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what connections do you guys have with Texas Motor Speedway and with the stockyards to help, facilitate this? Is there going to be, I'm assuming there'll be some kind of physical advertising as well at those locations to point our direction?
Yes, we know them. We've talked to them about us doing the DMO. They're very, very interested in it. And that relationship, they would independently be part of the DMO. And because they're such major attractions, that would be a big part of what we would be highlighting, along with, where to stay. when you come to the stockyards. Hey, when you come in for a race, don't forget to do this, and maybe you should catch Andretti's. And so we would highlight all the peripheral things that maybe you know that you should try to do while you're here. And then if you've been looking at some of the other visit sites, there's a lot of AI going on right now, right? And you're like, oh, hey, what's up? My wife and I took a trip to Palm Springs, California, and went to ChatGPT and said, hey, 4 days in Palm Springs, California, what should we do? You know, right out there, we probably did 80% of that. In fact, there was an art festival going on at the Art Museum that we caught because we didn't know about it. If you do that for North Tarrant County, very disjointed, because there's all that AI really doesn't have anywhere to go grab all that stuff. In fact, we said, okay, we're gonna go to Peppa Pig, and we're looking for a place to stay and some other things to do. Most of the stuff it pulled was from Fort Worth because of Visit Fort Worth. So we've got to have that information aggregated. When we've got all that information aggregated, then we can do some of those things. You know, the best outdoor dining, you know, or give me 10 outdoor dining options. You know, things like that people are going to. You guys have all searched that kind of stuff. People are going to search that, and we want to make sure we've got great answers for them, and we want to make sure that we're directing them to the partner cities and the partner businesses that are a part of it.
Tourists also want to go where the locals go and not necessarily where everyone else goes. So you'll find as we advertise and build programs with these attractions, they're going to start coming this way because you are so local centric, right? People staying at the Drover want to get a local experience, and maybe what barbecue places are downtown are probably not better than what you have here, right? So.
Does Pedro have this presentation?
Yes.
Can we get that to us? I'd like to, just so that I have.
And if you have further questions, he can put you in touch with us, or just
Yeah.
send us the questions. But we're just we're very excited about it. We think the timing is right, and we've got just a lot of buy-in. You know, cities are at different places and where they are. We've got more hotels coming to 820. You know, everybody's trying to figure out. I'm sure you guys are too. You know, where do we stand with our short-term rentals, right? I just know as a consumer, I love them. We use them all the time. We've probably done. I've got a great profile on Vrbo and Airbnb because we stayed in probably 35 different places throughout time. So it's I think it's a great opportunity for all of us, and we're just we're excited to get it going. So thank you for having us today.
Yep, I'm going to thank these guys. It's been about 2 years, I think, since we partnered, and I've been very involved the last 7 months, and the Chamber is doing a wonderful thing. Jack and Audra, they've been going around visiting our businesses in Saginaw, trying to get them involved in the Chamber, and we're starting to see a lot of positive things. I attend the Synergy at Eagles Point twice a month, and we're averaging 50 to 60 people there for an hour, and then they stay, most of them stay and have lunch and spend some money there. So it's been a great partnership. And
we've got our after hours there, happening this
Yep.
month. And we want to, and Terry Hammond is part of our chamber as well, and she does all our.
And Terry lives in our neck of the woods,
new
so.
members. Yeah, she lives here as well, which is great. And we've enjoyed working with the folks at the Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD as well, and we do some scholarships for the high school seniors, and so we've really enjoyed integrating into this community.
It's been a great partnership. Okay. Anybody else?
Thank you
Okay.
again.
Thank you.
So, we'll go through this. It seems like they're asking us to,
It's already in the budget, so if we approve the budget, it's
Okay.
there.
so that automatically gets approved, it's approved budget. Okay.
Okay, that takes us into our public hearing. Next item, budget, Kim Quinn.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Since it's a public hearing, I've got some slides that are just summary. It's nothing different than what you've heard from probably since March when we started having workshops and meetings and public hearings. So this is a first required public hearing is in the step to approve the budget. We will continue the public hearing at the next council meeting, special council meeting next week. We conclude our process. These are just, as I mentioned, I'm just going to go through them quickly. because it's nothing, no new information here. This is just different ways of looking at the budgets. This is the total of all of the funds, so 13 funds. The total of all 13 funds proposed budget for next year is just about $70 million. It's roughly broken down, well, I wouldn't say quarters, but about a quarter of it is funded with property taxes, right? That's the general fund, debt service fund, TERS fund. You've got sales tax funding, about 14% of the total budget. That's general fund, CCPD, street maintenance. We've got a lot, 20% charges for services. That's mostly general fund and water utilities fund, right? The water and sewer fees that people pay. And then use of fund balance is another large piece of the pie. And the biggest part there is the capital projects fund, right? We issued debt in prior years, and we're going to be spending it next year on the capital projects. Another way to look at the total budget of all of the funds is to see it by the types of expenditures. So we've got fire about 8% of the total budget, police 11%, so that's the general fund portion, CCPD, and police expendable trust. Public works, that's a big piece of it there. That includes not only general fund, but it includes water and sewer fund, enterprise fund, street maintenance fund, and drainage fund. That's why that's so big. And then we've got almost 25% of our budget for capital projects, 12% for debt service. Those are the big pieces of the pie there. And then another way to look at it, again, this is all funds, is the types of expenditures. So about 30% is salary and benefits, 27% operating, 23% capital, and then debt service, and then interfund transfers. Now, if we're just looking at the general fund piece of the total budget, it's roughly about 30% property taxes, 30% sales taxes, and then 30% other, as far as the revenue sources go. On expenditures, just general fund, over half of it is public safety. Police and fire take up the biggest piece of the pie, followed by public works. And then yet another way to look at this is the types of expenditures. So 72% of the general fund are salary and benefits. You know that as we've worked through this. The biggest piece of the pie is to pay the people that provide services to our citizens. Operating is about 25%, and then capital outlay about 3%. I'm just have a few bullet points per fund because, like I said, we've pretty much talked about everything I think there is to talk about as far as the proposed budget. The highlights in the general fund was the 3% step increase for employees that aren't at the top of their salary range. We're maintaining current service levels. We're using fund balance for one-time items. The important thing there is that we have a structurally balanced budget. The debt service fund is funding our required principal and interest payments, including the ones that we just issued in 2025. We'll start paying on debt. We'll pay that debt starting next year. In the enterprise fund, water and sewer rates are proposed to increase 3.25%. We're also funding the Opal Street water line replacement in conjunction with phase 1 of the Opal Street reconstruction project, construction for the Fairmont Sanitary Sewer, and the 12-inch West McElroy water line, which is partially funded from the escrow fund with prior collected impact fees. Capital Projects Fund, these are the big projects. We're going to begin construction on North Old Decatur Road. We've got a matching requirement for CDBG sidewalks. Those are along Southern Avenue for this go-round. I think it's year 50 of CDBG. We've got the matching requirements for the green ribbon landscaping, the matching requirements for the Highway Safety Improvement Program grants. We received 2 of those. Construction on West McElroy Phase 3, which is this section right here, and then engineering for East McElroy. I believe that section is called 2A. In Drainage Utility Fund, we're funding an additional drainage maintenance worker. We've got funding in there for final design of Saginaw Boulevard Drainage System 3, and we're also funding an excavator and trailer. Street Maintenance Fund, as I mentioned, we're gonna work on phase 1 of the Opal Street reconstruction. We're funding a concrete saw and asphalt roller, and then we've got repairs to Lottie Lane, South Hampshire, and Southern. In CCPD, we're placing 3 patrol vehicles. There'll be continued funding for 14 positions in the police department, continued funding for the flock safety system. It also funds the Axon contract for the different pieces of equipment used at the police department, as well as public safety related software. In the Police Expendable Trust Fund, the biggest expenses there are for the K-9 program. That's where we fund the K-9 program. There's also some scheduling software and traffic equipment. Donations fund, we're proposing to increase, voluntary donations from $1 to $2. And that will continue to fund the programs. All of the proposed budget has been reviewed by the appropriate boards and commissions. In the general escrow fund, we've got the major things funded there are special event advertising and entertainment, farmers market administration, the destination marketing organization, the presentation that you just saw, that's proposed to be funded, and then the Made in Saginaw and promotion of local businesses and restaurants pilot program. Belt Mill Public Improvement District Fund, this is funded by assessments of the property owners. The expenses there are the administrative expenses to manage that fund, as well as the developer reimbursement. And in the TERS fund, the only thing proposed next year at this point is administrative expenses, including the Tarrant County collection contract. The highlights on this slide are that our values were about 2.7% higher than the July 2024 values. The majority of the new value was in commercial, 18.6 million of the 22.9 million in new value. The other highlight here is that the average taxable value of the average single-family home decreased slightly by about $5,000 from 24 to 25. And then this is a comparison of our tax rate. The proposed budget is based on a rate of 52.9649 cents. And that's all I have as a prepared presentation. As I mentioned, we will continue this public hearing to next Tuesday, August 12th. We also have scheduled a public hearing on the tax rate, and then you will be presented for a vote for the budget and the tax rate, as well as fee increases.
Council, any questions or comments? This is a public hearing. I have one request to speak. Benjamin Guttery.
Howdy, y'all. I wrote a bunch of, Benjamin Guttery. I wrote a couple of notes from the last meeting y'all had. I think it was on the budget last week. But after watching that presentation from the chamber, I want to almost scratch almost everything I have to write about because it's all piecemeal. Don't spend $35,000 on whatever that was. Half the cities that were on their display were misspelled. We don't have a lake. We don't have a Peppa Pig theme park. We don't have a hotel. We do have a hotel, but it's for local stay. You could give Pedro a third of that and he could do way more with it. Do not spend that money on that program. The chamber is great. I've been a member of multiple chambers over my life. That is not it, whatever that is. So that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing, There was a lot of talk about the water park. Now, I'm on a HOA, Saginaw Springs. We have a pool. We barely used it. A couple years ago, we built our own pool. So I know a lot of times it's kind of like, you know, I heard a lot of the back and forth about the budget. It's like, I don't really use it. I don't have toddlers. I don't have whatever. It really is an amenity for the city. And there's a lot of things that can happen over the summer if teens don't have something to do. So I just really, really think that place needs to be funded. There was also a lot of talk about the cost of the entry. I mean, a taco costs $5 these days, guys. Like, $8 isn't really a lot, like, or whatever it's gonna be. And like somebody else said in the meeting, it hasn't been raised since it was opened. So I really think that the cost definitely should be raised. Another thing that was brought up was about city residents being able to get a discount, and also it being a little bit difficult for residents to be able to prove that they're residents, and some stuff was talked about with the zip codes. Well, I really think that it needs to be proven that they live in Saginaw, because just like what happens up in Keller, a lot of people say, I live in Keller. They don't live in Keller, they live in Fort Worth. That Facebook page that I'm sure everybody in here is on has 19,000 members. There's not even that many adults in Saginaw. Like, half the people that are on that Facebook group live in Fort Worth. If you look up, the city of Saginaw has 24,000 people. 76179 has 85,000 people in it. And I didn't even realize this, and my husband works for the post office 25 years. The eastern half of Saginaw is a different zip code. It's 76131. So a driver's license isn't gonna cut it. And I, for one, don't wanna pay for people of Fort Worth to come and get a discount with something that my tax dollars built and maintained. So I know it can be a little bit difficult, it can be a little bit annoying. I think I heard somebody say that like something could be texted to them or something where they could have proof so they don't have to go home and get a bill. But letting people in across the margins, nope, I don't want to pay for anybody in Fort Worth. Okay, other thing. There was a lot of things cut from the budget. I kind of went over it. We only have 2 inspectors. We only have 2 building officers. Like, y'all know how many things are getting built across the city right now? There's so many things getting built, and I kind of heard that, you know, they're only working 4.5 days a week. It might be going down to 4 days a week. I'm constantly bothering those guys down at the train station about broken windows, broken garage doors, trucks being parked, just all kinds of crazy stuff that, you know, happens in a city. And I really think that that needs to be looked at, because we only have 2 code enforcement officers. We only have 2 building code officers. There's 8 neighborhoods, 4 apartment complexes, 2 industrial warehouses, all kinds of expansions, all kinds of stuff going on. I don't know if they borrow someone from another department. I don't know how that works out, but I think that needs to be looked at. And I wrote money to promote local. So again, I really, really think rather than spending $35,000 on 8 restaurants and short-term rentals, which, I mean, I live in an HOA. We don't like short-term rentals. For every family that brings their 5 kids with them, there are teens that rent it out, that party in it. It happens in my neighborhood all the time. So short-term rentals, no, I don't want to pay to promote that. There has to be something else to be done with that money. But yeah, whoa, one other thing, shade structure. So our neighborhood, we have a HOA pool. We were gonna build a pergola this year. My husband and I, we built a pergola in our backyard, 2023. Cedar wood, everything cost 15 grand. We budgeted 25 grand to do one for the neighborhood because we thought it was gonna be, you know, we gotta get somebody that's registered and insured and bonded and all that kind of fun stuff. We got 4 bids, Emerald Custom Pools per year, $45,000 was the lowest one that came in. And I heard, you know, you suggest, and believe me, I'm all for DIY things, but, you know, having a kind of a family member or somebody build it kind of thing, no. Liability, all that kind of stuff, either do it right or put it off. that's my 2 cents on it. But sorry, I wrote all my little notes and wanted to come by and talk to y'all about that. So appreciate y'all's time. I know y'all got a lot of stuff on your plate. I know budget is very hard to go over. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul. The money's got to come from somewhere. But just make sure you look at a couple of things too. Thank y'all.
Thank you, and thank you for serving on the P&Z.
Mayor Pro Tem, just a couple of
Yep.
corrections.
Yeah.
We do have 5 building inspectors. We have the chief building inspector, the deputy, and 3 inspectors. And while we have 2 code enforcement officers, some of the building inspectors are certified to do code enforcement also. So depending on what the need is at the time or the focus, they all can do that duty. So to make more efficient, to make the department more efficient.
Excuse me on that. I know we got to get it recorded for the people in Austin. Sometimes whenever, we interact with them, and I know that they are short vehicles right now, but, sometimes we're told, there's only 2 of us, it's a big city and trains and multiple responsibilities and those kind of things. So again, I don't know if maybe whenever it's a heavy building time, y'all borrow some of those people to go over to the code enforcement side and vice versa, but there is a need in that department for sure. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Before you go,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that as far as the shade structure goes,
Yeah.
that part of that discussion was in regard to the animal shelter, and it was only over the play area for the pets. So it's the human liability where the humans are gonna be underneath
Okay.
is very, very low.
Full disclosure, I watched the YouTube video at 3 times so I could get through it kind of thing, so I might have mixed up a couple of things, so that does make more sense that it's for pets.
Yeah, the shade
It's
structure,
not gonna be permanent. I mean, it
Right.
will be for now, but we.
Semi-permanent.
eventually
Because we're
do
building a
something
new
with that
center.
shelter.
All right, cool, got it. I thought we were talking about next to the splash pads and stuff. I was like, don't do that.
There was some
I was like, your
discussion-
city attorney's
There was
gonna
some
like.
discussion about it, but not as in-depth with the animal shelter.
Yeah,
So-
Okay.
it was,
Yeah.
so I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that you were clear.
Thank you for the clearance on that. And I know I'm probably way over my 5 minutes, but somebody had talked about getting, Miller Company to the milling company to sponsor like a pavilion or something up at the aquatic center.
so
I
the
actually
swimming
think
pool's a
that's
little
really
bit different
smart.
than so the animal shelters, when we talked about maybe we could do something like that, there was brief discussion on putting something over the pool. That would have to be professionally done. It's not budgeted in here. We haven't even figured it out because it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons for that is we're fixing to spend about $190,000
To repaint?
to repaint it, and we're sitting here thinking, boy, if we could put a covering over that, that would greatly decrease how often we have to paint it. Plus, it would make that area more usable. Maybe more people would want to come and use it.
And there's places for the pavilion, so for some more pavilions.
Yeah,
That if
so-
we could get sponsors for it, it would
Yeah.
help to see.
So that was,
All
I mean,
professional though, over there.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
The dogs
basic.
don't care.
Yeah, for the pool, that was just us kicking around, boy, it would be nice. It's definitely not in our budget this year, we don't even
Yeah.
know what it costs. The second thing on the pool was fully funded.
Okay.
Or it is, yeah, it will be fully funded once we approve the budget. There was a lot of things we kicked around about the pool and things like that, but as it stands right now, I'm not correct, Kim, it's gonna be open however many days it is right now, it's gonna still be that. I think within the budget, that the price will raise. There's no other way around it.
It should, and
right.
and I really want to stress to y'all,
Yeah.
the loudest voice at the table isn't always the group and the community.
Right.
So I know, believe me, I do digital marketing for a living. Sometimes it can be like, well, I got these people that open up these emails, these people answered back this poll kind of thing. But then the sales data, the people that actually walked down and opened up the wallet and bought something, that is what really matters.
Yeah.
And so as much as you want to take some of the online stuff as a, part of the picture, don't listen to all that, because for every person that says, oh, I got 5 kids, I don't want to pay $8 per kid, there's plenty of people that are like, that's less than a combo meal, or like a Happy Meal, and my kid gets to run out their energy all day. And compare it to the White Settlement Park, compare it to NRH2O, compare it to Hearst has 2 aquatic centers, compare it to all those things. I know it's a lot of maintenance and upkeep, remember, sometimes you got to invest in it too. I don't think there's been a new ride of sorts or anything kind of added to there. I think the movie night was great. Lots of things I think y'all could do with it. I'd like to see it open. I know it's a real expense thing. Trust me, every year when we get the bills for our HOA pool, I'm like, oh my God, like, but it's an amenity. It's what it is. It keeps people out of trouble. So, yeah.
I think we were all on the same page about
Yeah.
it. And we wanted it to be open. And as far as the Fort Worth and Saginaw, the fees are gonna increase across the board.
Yes,
Relative.
and they should.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of on the same page on that.
Let-
Glad to hear that you are.
Fort Worth is closed pools, Dallas, Plano, because that's how they handled it, so.
Yep. And, speaking of Fort Worth, I mean, you can talk to the PD and the fire department. 90% of any issue we've ever had up at that pool is from Fort Worth residents that come over and try to use our stuff. So if they want to come over and use our other things that we taxpayers pay for, have them pay a little bit more for it. So,
Thank you.
thank y'all.
We are in a public hearing. If anyone else would like to speak, you can
I
step
did-
up to the podium.
I did have one thing.
Yep.
If you don't mind. So Kim, great presentation, great job this year, you and your team as always. And I'll ask, I think it's becoming a standard thing. Of this budget, and you looking into the future, what keeps you up at night? What's got concerns?
My concern is ongoing costs for future years. I think we've got a solid budget for 25, 26, but we're going to have another stretch for the foreseeable next 3 or 4 years.
So that's for all the citizens and council. For the next 3 or 4 years, we're gonna have to tighten our belt a little bit, just like you do at home, to get through these. But that's what's gotta be done.
Yes, sir. Step up to the podium. Introduce yourself and let us know where you live.
David Hanson. I'm in the 76131 area code just down the street.
Okay.
So, anyway, I just wanted to comment on the budget presentation that you made. I think I saw a mistake, okay, on your presentation. You were showing a $5,000 increase, but it was actually reversed. Your numbers were reversed where you were showing a $5,000 decrease from 24 to 25. And I just saw that because those things interest me.
Yes, sir. The value of the average home decreased.
Oh, it did decrease?
It did, sir. It's the first time in like 10 years that that's happened, but the average value actually did decrease by $5,000.
That is so cool. Thank you.
It's been so long since they've seen a decrease.
Yes, ma'am.
Surprise.
I'm Diana Henson. That was my husband. He's your precinct chairman for the city of Saginaw as of this January. I'm a notary public for the state of Texas, going on 31 years. And I'd like to address this gentleman that just spoke on his concern regarding short-term rentals such as Airbnb and Vrbo. I've been an investor since about 2010. And I did something that should have never have happened in the city of Fort Worth. I had a rental over within the 1 mile restriction of TCU, and I had an unusual situation with a bad contractor, and I worked with the city hall, and I didn't know what I had purchased. It used to be one of the old frat houses, and the deal was I couldn't have any problems, and at that time, yes, you're right, sometimes they get a bad rep, but I told all my neighbors. I also knew what some of the restrictions were, and I set some very heavy, strict rules, and my reviews, I ended up being a super host and an ambassador for Airbnb at that time, and it happened during COVID. And I ended up getting contracts with the Stockyards, Cook's Children's Hospital, some wedding chapels, some churches that were having funerals. So if City of Saginaw is interested in developing that, I would say set some regulations. Make your owners of those short-term rentals be responsible, and make their renters be responsible with fines and stuff. There are programs and stuff. I would even volunteer or help be a liaison to help set up some of those kind of rules, because I still have all that old stuff. I did sell my property over there because of cancer and stuff to another investor that did it, but Airbnb embraced me because like I said, I shouldn't have done it. The city should not have ever approved it, but I had no problems. I think the worst thing I had to deal was with maybe 3 walls that we had to redo, but once we figured out how to sheetrock, repaint, boom. And I did have one unusual situation, but they helped me control that also. But there's always going to be good or bad apples, but if you look at it objectively and you try to say, okay, this is what went wrong, this is what we can do to prevent that and go forward, you can always make it a positive. And I just want to say it's not all bad. Don't let all the scary stories outweigh the good positive benefits.
Just to let you know, we have a draft of our short-term rental ordinance, which is going through final review, and we will be presenting it to council at our next regular council meeting, so.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other comments? This time, I will take us out of a public hearing, and we'll move on to business.
Actually, Mayor Pro Tem, if we just table it.
Okay.
So that we can continue it at the next
Okay.
meeting.
Now you got to put it back into.
Okay. Now I can close public session, but
Okay.
I need a motion.
I'll motion that we table it.
Motion by Braxton Claire, second by Nikki Lawson. This is passed. Item 5A, consideration of action regarding the installation of a monument sign at Highland Station. Since Councilmember Lawson lives in that neighborhood, he has recused himself from this discussion.
Thank you, Mayor, Pro Tem, and Council. This item was on the last council agenda and was tabled for, we go back and come up with a different design and look. And I think from your packet, we did come back with a version that has Highland Station incorporated into the sign as well as Saginaw. So it looks pretty good. I think it'll fit over there.
Did you get the other drawing that you mentioned in the email?
I did not get that yet with the distressed metal, but I think once you see this one, I think it's more in line with what they're wanting to see.
It's a pretty sign.
It is. It's really, he did a good job.
Did you get any response from the mayor yet?
Not yet.
He's on vacation. Now's the time. Did you find it?
She went to go get it. You got it on your iPad?
Where is this set to be located again?
It'll be at Basswood and 156
And would
in
be-
the center median.
Okay, so would it be facing the broad side
It-
towards 156?
Toward 156.
There it is.
Just similar to the one that, the way it was originally, but it'll be set back a little bit more off that nose of that island over there at center median.
Okay, so you're gonna see it when you come up Basswood to 156, you'll see the broad side of it?
Oh, yeah, you'll see it.
Okay.
And the distressed metal that y'all are talking about would replace the cast stone of the sign?
Of the sign, yes.
Okay.
And what would be done with the old cast stone? Because there was one.
There was an original one just at Highland Station. We have it. It's got a crack through the middle of it. I mean, it's still, we have it.
Okay.
It's just, it's not as big as this one. This is a little bit bigger sign.
Yeah.
Would you still be able to utilize the other one somewhere else?
If we had a place for it, yeah, we could use it.
So with these, from longevity, would we be better off doing the distressed metal versus doing the stone? Do we see a problem with these cracking or breaking or anything?
No, they've held up really well.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Council, just one minor thing. Melanie had mentioned this. We would add this to our insured items. Unfortunately, signs are struck and damaged, very minor, and, you know, hopefully it's placed in a way that minimizes that, but we can't catch a break with signs or city facilities, so.
I think we need a bigger sign at the Welcome to Saginaw when you come into town. You can't hardly see that little sign anymore.
Yeah, it's a good point, Councilmember. That was something that Susie's looking at, I think, at proposing kind of gateway feature citywide. It'd be nice, and that one
nice
sign
big
is,
one would be good.
yeah, that's probably 20-some years old.
Yeah.
I think it's cracked as well.
It's been ran over, rebuilt, ran over again, rebuilt, so yeah.
And it
That's right where it
gets shaked and baked with the railroad
It
tracks.
does take a lot of abuse from the railroad. You'd be surprised how that ground
Put on
vibrates
some
down there.
springs so it can wave at you.
So do we take no action on this tonight since we're still waiting on the other, or what do we need to do?
It's up,
I think this is prettier than
Yeah.
distressed metal. That's just my
I
opinion.
think this is just something that was more in line with what was originally there, as far as looks. I think it fits the area really well. It's just kind of up to y'all.
Yeah, I like it.
I believe Benjamin wants to speak on this.
Okay, so howdy. So I saw part of the original meeting on this sign, and I don't know which council member brought up, I believe it originally said Saginaw, Texas on the replacement sign. I know the one that was there said Highland Station. I am not for city tax dollars being used for a neighborhood monument sign. I live in Saginaw Springs. If y'all approve this, I want one on Knowles and the traffic circle, and I'm being serious, at Knowles and W.J. Boas in the traffic circle. Creekwood, got lots of friends in Creekwood, lots of friends in the Dominion. We're all gonna want signs. So, you know, I get that there was a sign there before. That HOA should pay for it. If they don't have an HOA, they should maybe start one. Or if the city's gonna pay for it and the city's going to insure it, it should be Saginaw, Texas. I don't know why a city logo is next to a neighborhood. I mean, we could even game out like how many houses are in Highland Station, how many houses are in the Dominion. I mean, so many things. Like, I know that that part of town seems to be really vocal on Facebook, but other than that, I really don't know why my tax dollars are paying for a neighborhood entrance sign. So that was all I had to say. Thank y'all.
And I had received an email, I don't know if other council members had, but kind of expressed the same.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's totally beautiful. I just don't think it should have a neighborhood sign. Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was asking about the old sign, because if we do, like as the mayor suggested in a previous meeting, have it say Saginaw, Texas, what do we do with the old sign? Because it does technically belong to the neighborhood, so. you know.
Ours just says that.
I see what you're saying. I don't
Yeah.
think the sign, because there's no HOA in this, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, and it was placed on, not even the city right away, it was text out right away, which is why it had to be removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
If AT&T moved it, why shouldn't they replace it? I mean, if we had to move it for AT&T because, you know what I'm saying? Why shouldn't,
So it was in the right of way of TxDOT.
oh,
And so it's just like our ordinance. If something's placed in the right of way, like a mailbox or something, we have to take it out. We really don't have to put it back. It's in the ordinance.
okay.
So,
And he is right. None of the other, they don't have Saginaw, Texas on there, but I'm proud of Saginaw, don't get me wrong. And I think Saginaw should have one on all four corners of Saginaw, but that's just me.
I just want to finish my thought really quick too on that. I wish we had Saginaw Monument signs. I thought that this was for the new park because what I think the Highland Station Park was just recently, there was like a pavilion added and then there was like a bridge done. I saw half of y'all at the ribbon cutting. So that's what I thought this sign was for. I mean, and now after, you know, whenever that sign was first put up, Highland Station was the only little neighborhood off of Basswood. Now there's 5 or 6 neighborhoods off of Basswood, and then there's Creekwood at the end of it. I mean, I know y'all had the city employees spend time and graphics putting Highland Station on there. It really shouldn't be on there, to be honest with you, if all of our tax dollars are paying for it, because, yeah.
I believe everyone on council received an email today from Mr. Trey Taylor. I reached out to him to get his address. He just sent me an email now. He's at 204 Canterbury. His real question he'd like to answer during the meeting is, why is the city taking responsibility for a sign Highland Station built in the TxDOT right-of-way? This should be between TxDOT and the Highland Station residents. Is it going to be built in the right-of-way? If not, how far off Blue Mountain Road? Have we explored the area to build a welcome to Saginaw sign? And he says, when are the other neighborhoods going to get signs? And a concern I have is, are we going to start having to put these up all over the place? I think we need some signage for our parks and some different things, but this was, what, $27,000?
For that?
Yeah, I think that we need to table this. And let's kind of sit on it a minute. I mean, I just really think that's what the action that we need to take, because I see your point, but I also think, you know, I'm not a Highland Station resident, but if I was, I'm also paying tax dollars. So I get it, but those other neighborhoods that you're talking about, if they have HOAs, okay, but if they don't have HOAs, we're not going to go around and put signs for everyone that doesn't have an HOA. But I do understand the side of, you know, they're going to feel slighted if we don't get their sign back. So I don't know what the solution is. If there was an HOA, I would say give them their sign back. But there isn't one. So what does the ordinance say?
As far as our ordinance?
Yeah.
Plant something or build something in the right of way, we do not have to put it back, we have to take it out.
So the ordinance says we don't have to put it back.
We do not have to, that's correct.
And the placement of this sign, is it going to be different than where that one was?
We're shifting it back, actually taking, there's a tree on that nose over there, it's about half dead. We're taking it out and moving that sign back slightly.
Okay,
Get
so
it
it'll
way
be
away.
out of the TxDOT right of way.
Yes.
I had originally disagreed with the mayor vehemently, but as I'm thinking about it, and the more emails I get and the more conversations I have, I tend to think he's right. So, should I make a motion?
Yep.
And I'll make a motion that we table this to another meeting.
I'll second.
I think we need to look at possibly what we can do, reuse the sign that we have.
Yeah.
If we gotta spend a little bit to put that back, but 27,000 is just a lot of money for this.
Well, take that to 27,000 and make a bigger sign at the entranceway of Saginaw. There you go.
Okay. Motion's carried. All right, yeah. Next item, 5B, consideration and action regarding the IPO for sidewalks on Saginaw Boulevard. Mr. Trent Tidwell.
Thank you. The next two items, 5B and 5C, are both design contracts for the HSIP grant awards we received. Once again, HSIP is the Highway Safety Improvement Program. The construction will be federally funded. We were awarded over $1.2 million for both of these projects. The earliest construction would start for these would be January of 2028. We're going to try to slide that up by getting done sooner, but the fiscal year that TxDOT has this programmed would be for fiscal year '28. This first item, 5B, is for the Basswood sidewalks. So this would be a construction or design of a 6-foot wide sidewalk along the north or east side of Basswood from Blue Mound to Fire Station 2, and then filling other gaps, adding pedestrian ramps and enhanced striping at the crosswalk. So that's what this 5B item is for that design contract.
Council, any questions?
I had one, just a clarification. I sent the email in, I don't know if it is. When I read it, and I'm being particular here, it actually said it stopped at a road, and that road stops right there at that easement on the other side. I just want clarification that we will tie the sidewalk into the existing sidewalk.
Yes. On both ends, the north and the south. Are you talking about the?
They're by Fire Station 2.
We're going to connect all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Station 2 is just,
I
easy.
just want to make sure, because the road's here, and I'm like, oh gee, if they stop here, then you got, not that we would do it, but.
Yes, we will connect. And then we say 156 when we apply for the application, but TxDOT since built part of that sidewalk on the north side, so we won't plan to rip any of that out. We won't go all the way to 156, but
Okay.
we'll connect to what they constructed, and then also what Saginaw constructed across from the school when we did those crosswalks.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all are aware, too, I'll just make a point that the school district did get that sidewalk.
Oh, yeah. Looks nice.
Yeah. It's put in on the south side of there.
Yeah. That was part of this application too, but.
That was
since
part of what?
That portion was a part of this application as well, but since we were able to work with them to get that built, it'll be less money that is spent for this grant application.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve 5B as presented.
Motion made by Brack, second by Valerie. Motion passes. Item 5C, the IPO for the traffic signal improvements at Bailey, Boswell, and Jarvis.
Thank you. So similar program or same program. This would be for the final design of the signal at Prairie Moon or Jarvis and Bailey Boswell. So the main improvements besides the signal would also be an eastbound left turn lane, so people could go northbound onto Prairie Moon, and then removing the raised median or pork chop that's on the north side there for Barcy Ranch. So people will be able to go left safely now. Legally.
Council, any questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve 5C as presented.
Motion by Nikki, second by Brack. Motion passes. We don't have anything for executive session, so at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion by Valerie, second by Sean. There we go.
Good job, Vicki. She's got that.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:23.